No. Yep. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Attempts at Governance. This is episode 270. And we're coming at you live from San Francisco today, doing a little bit of a Space Monkeys podcast series with some help from the Polkadot Capital Group, that US Polkadot Capital Group. They're hooking us up with some early dot VCs. So we're going to check in with them and see how they're feeling about Polkadot, how they're feeling about the wider industry. Should be a very cool series. So that's what I'm out here doing today. But we have AAG for you, a great show with a bunch of new presentations. OpenGov kind of heating up after a very conservative week last week. So let's dive right in with the state of the Treasury and see how we're doing. Looking very nice this week, up 60,000 DOT, which is worth $235.2 thousand, to 28.23 million DOT in the Treasury. We're up 210,000 USDT to 4.29 million, and up 420,000 USDC to 2.76 million USDC. That's the state of the Treasury. Funkatron, unfortunately, double booked this time slot, so he's not with us today. But maybe we'll have somebody else working the time, and Limo out doing very important work that I'm sure he'll tell us about very soon. So we're going to start with the first presentation today, which is with our friend Tyrone Penn. Tyrone, welcome to the show, sir. Tyrone from Bifrost, everybody.
Hey guys, thanks for inviting me here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
Well, you guys have a pretty cool new feature that you just are announcing now. This is V token delegation voting. So to catch everybody
Yeah,
up, V tokens are the liquid staked tokens people get when they put their tokens with Bifrost. You've enabled voting with them through Bifrost, but now I think you're enabling delegations as well.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, like VDOT and VKSM, they are the staking version of DOT and KSM. And right now we are launching the new function, which is delegate your vote by using VDOT or VKSM. So exactly the same as the voting governance in Polkadot. I want to share my screen to do a very quick demo, so I think make everybody clear here. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Well, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, sure. So I'm on Bifrost app, and exactly here is all the V token we have, and the governance right is for VDOT and VKSM. And right now we are in the Polkadot network, so you can see here is the total of DOT staked via Bifrost. So we wrap it to a VDOT. And then there's the interesting functions we launched last year is the referendum voting, which means if you're holding VDOT, you can easily vote for DOT referenda as Euro. So you can see here is the whole list of the live proposal in the referenda. And if you click any of it, and you can use your VDOT balance to vote for the proposal. And you can even select any of the convictions that you want. And the new function here is we launched this month, and right now I'm in the beta app, so which means it haven't pushed to the formal production, but we are testing in the production, so I can do this demonstration here. For the delegation, it's quite easy to be understood for the the DOT voters or DOT governance engagers. It's like you can easily delegate your VDOT to any of the addresses you want. And here's the simple example. Select your balance and choose the conviction that you want to delegate for, and then is the address. For the address, you can easily see the list of different dots that they're setting up on this page. It is quite similar as on the subsquare in the delegation page. So there are many of the dots they registered in this page. So on Bifrost, it will works the same. The dots can also come here and register them in it. So if I delegate to let's say we delegate to Kusumarian, and then we just do execution, they will delegate my VDOT to Kusumarian. And when Kusumarian voting for any of the proposal, my V dot will also be voted effortlessly and synchronously. So let's try to execute this. It won't take much longer. And you might curious to know what address we are using on the Polkadot to do the voting. Oh, sorry, I cannot vote for this as there's already voting. We can just easily see what we have voted for. So give me 1 second. All right. I don't know what's the reason here. Yeah, I previously used another address to delegate to this address. So which means if I'm a dot right now, I've already received the delegation from others. So if I'm voting to others, if I'm voting to any of the referendum proposal, and it's supposed to vote my supposed to vote my delegations as well. So it's work at the same. And here's another interesting function is that if you select the other option is Bifrost, right? If you select the Bifrost, it will delegate to Bifrost OpenGov, which is a system address. And this one means if you delegate to Bifrost, and Bifrost can vote your dot to a referendum. So it works like it works like a Bifrost have the referendum, and we have word track. We name it delegated voting admin. So if anyone who holds Bifrost native token BNC to jump in this referendum in this track and say, hey, I need some dot to vote for a referendum on Polkadot, or I need support from VDOT, so I can propose in Bifrost referendum. And once this executed, Bifrost track have the right to vote via the XEM to Polkadot referendum. So is there any problem so far?
No, makes sense. So if there is a delegatee who wants delegations from this, what's the call to action here? They get people to copy paste the address into the app here, people who have V tokens?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like you can easily copy and paste, let's say, Kusumarian's Polkadot delegation address
Great idea.
and just paste here,
Yep,
and then the execution will go and delegate to the Polkadot address of Kusumarian.
that's cool. And then
Yeah.
whatever DAO votes, your V dot, the dot behind your V dot is voting with it.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
It's good, man.
So yeah.
Cool.
So
Okay.
if you come to Bifrost app and vote for VDOT
Yep.
to a referendum, and then any of the delegation vote will be executed as well.
Awesome. Okay, Jose, we have a minute left. What do you want to say?
Well, people using Bifrost benefits with their products, right? They have better incomes than basically the relay chain or asset hub. Those dots sit outside of the asset hub. So they benefit from basically, should those dots sitting outside have, the ability to vote in other chains, right? I don't know, 21 million votes, can basically outweigh everything else. And, because you are a financial kind of chain, we know you're going to be voting for everything that is basically liquidity and things like that we need. Now, why should we vote yes for this?
Hold on, Jose. First of all, they're not proposing anything here. They're just releasing a feature. But secondly, the dot that is staked in order to get V tokens, they are on the relay chain and they will be on Asset Hub.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that right?
Yes, yes, it is. It might be in Asset Hub after the Asset Hub migration, because all the staking functions will be migrated to Asset Hub as well. So which means the Bifrost staking system account will be migrated to Asset Hub as well. So that's it.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's good. Thanks
Yeah,
for the answers.
maybe this will give you a quick and clear answer. This is the Bifrost delegation address on the Polkadot, and if you see this, it's a system account, which is derived from the Bifrost parachain account. So if you see the referenda, you can see Bifrost V holders, they voting via V actually, and this system account is voting on the Polkadot. So that's how it works.
That's cool. All right, we're at time, Tyrone, but thanks very much. I mean,
Yeah.
some liquid staking protocols would just be satisfied stacking TVL, but it's cool that you guys are actually making the dot useful beyond the V token use cases and making it useful in governance. So those tokens aren't locked away from governance, but actually can participate. It's very, very cool. Thanks for coming on and sharing that today, sir.
Thanks, Jay. Thank you.
We're going to get to the title ref of today's show. We have Sergey on the show. Hey, Sergey, how's it going there, man?
Yeah, it's going well. Hello, everyone.
Chopping up
So-
core time and making it available on the secondary market on RegionX. And you're here with 196,240 USDT proposal to continue your work. This is on the medium spender track. Sir, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, that's right. So just a brief introduction about myself. I'm the founder of the RegionX project, also a PBA graduate and a Polkadot SDK contributor. I'm going to basically start off by giving a few words about the current state of the project, what we have delivered so far, and what are our plans, basically. So right now, we are the primary and the only application for Agile core time on both Polkadot and Kusama. We are proud to be used by many parachain projects that have transitioned to Agile core time, as well as new projects that are using Agile core time from the start. We are also the first team to have successfully delivered the secondary core time marketplace, which is now live on Kusama. This is something that has been long awaited for, and we are proud to be the first and so far the only team to deliver something like this. Basically, we are a team that has been working on Agile core time since it was introduced 2 years ago. Since then, we have been working on providing an application for managing Agile core time, as well as working on a marketplace, which was briefly introduced by Gavin's Agile core time RFC. So the proposal we published is basically here to cover the cost of moving the secondary marketplace that we have deployed onto Polkadot. Also implementing some key UX and UI features that have been requested or we have on our to-do list and we recognize as a great addition to what we have so far. As well as we are working on simplifying integration for projects such as PDP, which is built by a Parity team for helping projects more easily deploy on Polkadot. And the plan is to provide the cores that we have on our marketplace to these new projects as well. And this way they will have better access to core time and potentially have cheaper access to core time and overall just make it more accessible to deploy their project on Polkadot. I recommend reading the proposal to see all the things that it covers, but I will give a short overview. So the key UX features are making purchasing a core time from the marketplace and listing into the marketplace, basically a one-click operation. Right now, users need to cross-chain transfer a region to the RegionX chain and back if they are purchasing it. We want to abstract this all away. So it will be as basic as just selecting a region from the regions page and clicking sell or clicking buy on the marketplace and having it ready for use on the core time chain.
Cool.
So this is something that we believe would be a really great UX improvement for everyone. We will also provide more in-depth core time analytics, tracking user history, and getting an overview of the marketplace data. We also want to make a deployment on Paseo. We want to do this prior to Polkadot. because like Paseo has basically the same runtime as Polkadot, and it's a good idea to test things out there as well. And also some teams have requested us to deploy the marketplace there as well, so they can test things out before they try using the marketplace on Kusama or on Polkadot. There are a lot of application features that we have implemented so far or have on our to-do list that are part of the proposal and have been requested by users that I did not mention now, but can be found in the proposal. So basically, we believe that having a marketplace will be very important, especially with Polkadot moving into a direction of having core time prices somewhat more closely match the dollar cost amount of that is spent on securing, that is spent on actually providing this core that Polkadot provides, and basically match these prices. Core time is right now very cheap, and a lot of money is spent on actually providing this security, and the plan is basically from latest gas talks to have core time prices match this. The importance for the marketplace is here because we want to make deployment on Polkadot still accessible. Also, many of the projects, once the core time prices move upwards, can consider selling some of their resources, basically sharing their core. This way, cutting their costs in case they are expensive, and basically providing the core time they do not need to someone else. I will not say that we are moving, that a core will be expensive. It is just that a core is actually providing a lot of resources. So anyone who is purchasing a core is actually getting a lot for their money. And most projects are not even using like 30% of it. And once the prices move up, it will make a lot of sense to sell the parts that they do not need. So basically, this is the idea and the main motivation for deploying on Polkadot. Also, with Polkadot being the first project in the Web3 space to use this concept of selling its own resources as NFTs, we believe it would be basically making history to have a marketplace where this is tradable. So that's also great from a marketing standpoint, in my opinion. Basically, that's the overview of the proposal. I will be happy to answer any questions.
That's great. So there's actually 20 new features and improvements that people can see in the document version of the proposal here, and each one has its own item line as well, its own cost line, with the predicted hours that you're going to spend on this.
Yeah, some of these have been implemented already.
And some are retroactive. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks very much. I mean, this is a very cool project. I think it was like 2.5 years ago we were fantasizing about having a secondary core time marketplace. You are the only one who took up the challenge here. Not the only one who took up the challenge. The only one still standing who took up the challenge.
Yeah.
And here you are. Very cool. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Sergey here? Voting is very early here, so we don't really have serious votes to speak of yet. Less than a quarter of the way through the decision period with, what do we have here? With 13 accounts voting so far. I would just request that anybody who votes against this, if you could please provide specific feedback on what part of the scope you're uncomfortable with or what's missing from the scope, because I would say this is definitely something very useful that we want to have around as soon as possible. Last call for comments or questions or concerns for Sergey.
Just echoing you, Jay. Great to see you guys still around. Great to see you guys still building, and thanks for doing this.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
That's cool, man. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll check in on this next week, and all the best until then. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new bounty to introduce you to. People said we had enough bounties. I disagree, and other people do as well. Ink Alliance bounty is here, preparing for Polkadot Hub. We just started the decision period of this big spender. Now remember, bounties often are a two-ref process, one setting up and the other assigning the curators. This is the first step here, and this is going to be ultimately for 261,137 DOT, or about $1.112 million worth of DOT, at least when it was proposed. This is very early days, so the guys are coming in fresh to tell us about this before we get tainted with any other gossip or ideas. Who do we have on the show here to discuss this today? Peter and you guys are so
And
tiny
Rich.
today. And Rich. Yes, guys, welcome to the show. We'll put 8 minutes on the clock. The floor is yours.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and present my screen.
Please do.
And here we are. So thanks for having us again. Super excited to talk about this time on behalf of the Ink Alliance. And it starts here, where basically Polkadot Hub is coming really soon. It's supposed to launch in December. And as long as Polkadot Hub is kind of a core strategy of Polkadot, Ink is going to be an important piece to that. So before we jump into why Ink and how this new proposal is structured, we're going to go over the last proposal that we've been doing for the last year. And this is a high level 10,000 foot view. I'm going to run through this quick. So Ink v5, we released it with XCM support and had a super successful security audit from SR Labs and Parity. The thing we really want to talk about is Ink v6. This is where we completely rewrote from using WebAssembly to using Pilot Revive and PolkaVM. We actually run probably the most extensive testing pipeline for PolkaVM, and we've even helped Parity uncover bugs in PolkaVM. We've done some things that weren't in the initial scope. We delivered Ink Solidity ABI compatibility. So Ink can use things like MetaMask now, but also Solidity and Ink, they can talk to each other. Beyond just the technology, we've done lots of things, completely revamped the website and documentation. On a weekly basis, we are supporting developers in onboarding and continued development. We've attended lots of hackathons, offered lots of workshops, and usually at these hackathons like Sub-Zero and Web3 Summit, our mentorship is helping Ink to be at the top of the most submissions for the available tracks at these hackathons. We've also been at this last PBA this September offering mentorship and a lot more. Current status, Ink v6 is not stabilized yet because Pilot Revive is not stable. Once Pilot Revive is stable, we can do an official Ink v6 release. Ink v6 has also not been audited, but we are working on that. Now, let's jump into the fun stuff. So why Ink? Why do we want to continue with it? Well, the big thing, Polkadot Hub is coming in December, and having the dual language support is going to be something that's pretty powerful. So Solidity, it can bring in this legacy infrastructure of Web3 that's often necessary, but Polkadot doesn't like taking steps backward in technology. So by continuing to support Ink, developers can use next generation smart contracts that can use Polkadot's offerings. Better performance, powered by PolkaVM, and native interoperability, where smart contracts aren't just limited to the parachain they're deploying on. And now, because Ink supports the Solidity ABI, the strengths of these languages can actually complement each other. I'm going to drill into something else, the PolkaVM piece. I'm going to drill into this, which is, it's a key piece to Polkadot Hub, but it's also going to be a key piece in the future of Polkadot with things like Jam. So we believe battle testing PolkaVM early on is going to strengthen the ecosystem. It's also going to give Polkadot a good first mover advantage as being one of the first ecosystems that support RISC-V smart contracts. And the thing is that when Polkadot Hub launches, Ink is going to be the only supported language that can handle PolkaVM in a production capacity, because Solidity is now going to EVM on Polkadot Hub. Now, Solidity, of course, has its place, but it can't do everything. So I want to give this example of XCM. How do you have a contract call XCM? I'm going to show a bit of code. Don't get scared by it. It's just the interface for how a contract can interact with Pilot XCM. And I've underlined some things here that says scale encoded XCM message, scale encoded, scale encoded, scale encoded. And the thing is that scale encoding is actually native to Polkadot. So it becomes super impractical and difficult for Solidity to generate XCM messages and to do the proper encoding. But Ink is really good at it. Now, if you've seen me present Ink before, you've seen this slide. I'm going to show 2 pieces of code of generating an XCM message. Now, my question is, which one is in a parachain runtime and which one is in an Ink contract? The thing is you cannot tell the difference because it is literally the exact same code. Ink talks Polkadot, Ink uses the same code as Polkadot. And also, because Solidity can call Ink now, Solidity can indirectly use Ink to call XCM and have a better connection with the Polkadot runtime. So the diverse languages can strengthen each other, but also the diverse languages bring diverse developer groups. So last year, I presented this slide too. 4 million Rust developers in 2024, about 26,000 Web3 developers. In 1 year, Rust has gone up to 5.1 million developers, and it has a strong and significant increase both in trust and usage by enterprises and business. So People in the real world trust Rust, and that's what Ink is. Ink is just Rust. Now let's go into the bounty. So we've changed the structure. We are doing a bounty now, and we've added a new curator. So we've added Parity Technologies. And the reason for that is we just want to make sure we're fully aligned on strategy around Polkadot Hub and giving it the best chance to succeed that we can. Overall, the goal for the bounty is preparation for the hub, continued maintenance, continued improvements, continuing to grow the ecosystem, and continuing to refine the strategy. Now, why do we want to do a bounty? So Ink is a common good tool. Polkadot is constantly changing in its technology, so we need Ink to be able to adapt to that quickly. We've also seen that there's an importance to the Polkadot Hub. So the Ink Alliance needs the flexibility for continued development, but also this assurance to the community that Ink will continue to be developed. And of course, community accountability. By using a bounty, the funds stay in the treasury, especially as we're asking for more funds this time. So it stays in the treasury, and if for any reason you guys want to vote, all right, let's take this bounty away, that can happen. Now, this is a fun little comment we received a few weeks ago, and it says, "Thank you, Ink dev team. You're the reason I'm happy because I don't have to write Solidity code. I love Rust." Of course, it's anecdotal, but we've heard this many, many times over the years. People love Solidity, but they also love Rust, which is Ink. So by supporting both languages, Polkadot Hub can cater to the legacy technology, but also Polkadot can continue to push the envelope by using Ink with PolkaVM support, native interoperability, and just more complex contracts. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to some questions. I think we got a couple minutes.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man. Anybody have any questions or comments for Peter? We have a few minutes left here. 1.5 minutes. Yes, Jose?
Great presentation, Peter. Really, the focus, love the focus, really. The composition of this bounty, the curators, are they all professional Ink experts at some degree? What's the plan on that front?
So yeah, basically it's a mixture of people that are core developers. So we've got some core developers. We've got people that do know Ink. So we've got some people from the business side of Parity. Rogue is somebody that is deeply involved with Ink. Verdo is also a chain that uses Ink. So it is a mixture of like good strategy for Polkadot, but also good strategy for Ink.
Okay, great. Any other comments? Cool. Okay, well, I'm interested about the Parity coming in with you guys here again. That's nice. We'll be looking out for some comments from them. And Polytope Labs is on it too. Who from Polytope is watching you here or helping out here?
So for Polytope, Sheun is the official curator, but he's got some internal people that attend the Ink Alliance syncs and help around there. His name's Femi.
Yeah, cool. All right. If you didn't know, Polytope is the one of the groups behind Hyperbridge. Very cool, guys. Thanks for coming out. So we'll check this out next week and see how we're doing. That's the 8 minutes here, but thanks for the opening overview. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. So those are the new presentations of refs on the go this week. We're going to dive into a discussion. This is a very interesting one. I want you all to lean in and pay attention to this. This is a discussion right now. Tachyon, I'm sorry if I said it wrong, a consensus protocol for ZK systems brought to us by some folks from IO, Input Output, who you may associate with Cardano, looking for a substrate-compatible implementation of the Jolteon consensus protocol, possibly asking for 461,000 USDC. Let's see who we have on the show here to discuss this. Carmel, Christos, I think, Dom, and who else was it? Tomas, there you go.
Thomas.
Yes, guys, welcome to the show. I think we'd be really interested here today to hear specifically about why this would be beneficial for Polkadot. Possibly these funds may come out of the treasury. So maybe we can touch on that. Anything else you want? 8 minutes. The floor is yours.
Thank you for inviting us. My name is Christos Palaskas. So as you said, we're here from IOG partner chains to discuss this project. We call it Tachyon. And we are requesting, so we built on $1.5 million of previous work, and now we are requesting $461,700 for this engineering endeavor to build a high assurance finality layer for the Polkadot ecosystem. Our goal is to create a formally verified consensus protocol that will strengthen network security, enhance performance, and broaden the range of applications that can be built on Polkadot. Polkadot's shared security model, powered by Grandpa, the finality gadget, has proven to be a reliable and high-performing system. It has served the network exceptionally well, but our aim is to expand the substrate framework by offering a new specialized tool for specific applications. To meet the demands of high-throughput applications, we've implemented Jolteon, which is a visiting fault-tolerant protocol, and it's an evolution of the hot stuff protocol, but it's been specifically optimized to provide extremely fast finality. It can achieve finality in as few as 2 rounds under typical network conditions. In blockchain, finality and throughput are closely linked. Faster finality allows for a quicker confirmation of the transactions, which is a key factor in improving the overall transaction processing rate of the network. By reducing the time to finality, we directly increase the number of transactions that can be processed in a given time period, because Tachyon can achieve finality without the time constraint of a slot-based solution. This proposal will take our TRL5 prototype, which is a working proof of concept, and will elevate it to a TRL7 production-grade implementation. The name Tachyon, for anybody that was curious, symbolizes its focus on rapid finality and its role as a high-speed, scalable foundation for future growth. It comes from the Greek word tachi, so fast. Now, why did we choose? So we chose Substrate because first, it has a modular architecture. Substrate allows us to seamlessly integrate our custom consensus protocol, Tachyon, as a plug-and-play component. This means we can deliver a high-performance solution without having to build a new client from scratch, which drastically accelerates development. Second, the vibrant and collaborative Substrate community provides the tooling, technical guidance, and peer support that are essential for a product of this complexity. This ecosystem accelerates development and allows us to focus on what matters most, which is delivering a high-performance, robust protocol. Finally, Polkadot's core focus on security, scalability, and interoperability aligns perfectly with our goals. By building Tachyon here, we're not just creating a new protocol, we're opening the door to strengthen Polkadot's infrastructure and provide a new set of capabilities for developers to build more advanced applications that demand high throughput and low latency. What are the benefits? Tachyon provides a new tool to support use cases that require near instant transaction finality, such as decentralized exchanges, high-frequency trading applications, and real-time gaming. The Substrate community, the party developers will get a new high-performance option for block production and finality. The formally verified design acts as an unambiguous reference, improving a traceability between the formal specification and the implementation. This unlocks new possibilities for complex applications that require provable guarantees about protocol behavior, enabling developers to build with greater confidence. Our plan. Our project is structured around a 5-month plan with 3 key milestones. 1 focuses on project setup and a detailed readiness plan. Milestone 2 is about network integration and comprehensive testing to ensure the protocol performs as expected. And milestone 3 is for product hardening, including performance evaluation and benchmarking. Our team consists of experienced blockchain professionals from input-outputs, including project manager, a technical architect, and a number of engineers specialized in Rust and formal methods. We have the right people with a proven track record to deliver on this project. The requested $461,700, sorry about that, covers labor and overhead costs for this team over the 5-month period, ensuring you can deliver on our goals. This budget does not include a comprehensive third-party security audit, which will be the focus of the follow-on proposal after we achieve TRL7. Now, what are the risks? We have identified and have plans to mitigate key technical risks, such as the complexity of formal specifications and integration challenges with Substrate. We will keep the community updated at every step of the way. Our primary goal is to deliver a TRL7 demonstration and a Substrate-compatible implementation that is ready for a security audit. We will publish performance benchmarks demonstrating finality in 2 rounds and a considerable throughput. Now, this proposal is a critical step, but it's part of a larger journey. The work we do here will lay the groundwork for a future funding request to fund a security audit and a pilot deployment with early adopters. To summarize the ask, we are requesting funding to take a formally verified cutting-edge consensus protocol and integrate it into the Substrate framework, opening up a path for deep Polkadot integration. This brings options to the ecosystem, giving platform developers a high throughput alternative. Tachyon is a high-speed solution that will enhance substrate-based clients' performance, unlock new use cases for developers, and advance the entire Web3 space. We have the plan, the team, and the track record to make this a reality. Thank you for your time and consideration. We are confident that this investment will provide immense value to the Polkadot community, and we're open to any questions you may have.
All right, we have 2 minutes left. If anybody would like to make a comment. Peter, I was actually going to call on you anyway. What did we just hear, Peter?
Well, I guess, I mean, a new consensus mechanism is what you're proposing, right?
Yes.
So I've got a question, which is, I'd be curious to know where in the stack you are wanting to put this. Because, for example, a parachain actually has to do finalization through the Polkadot relay chain. So usually, like, things that improve the speed on the parachains still have to go through the relay chain.
So what I proposed is the first step of implementing this library to be consumed by the substrate community, and not necessarily by the parachains at this point.
So this would be for solo chains then?
And this is the first step. This is a highly formally proven consensus mechanism that can be used by people that want to use substrates.
Let's see if we can articulate an answer here. So right here, potentially, you're going to come to the Treasury and ask for $460,000 worth of stable coins. The people who vote yes or no on that proposal, they're DOT holders. And so they're looking to increase the value of their holdings that they're voting with, the value of their DOT token. Can you articulate how voting aye on a proposal like this would increase the value of the network and the value of their holdings?
Yes, sure. Let me try. So first of all, you are enabling a consensus protocol that is highly assured. So on top of that, you can build more complex applications, such as zero knowledge, that require assurances. So you have a direct link from the specification to the code. And that is the basis upon which you will build more high assurance code for applications that require that. And the second one is the throughput that we've been discussing, and Dominic can take this if you want a more deeper analysis. Tachyon is not based on rounds, on slots, but it's based on rounds that can be according to the network. They can go faster or slower. So if you have a faster network, you will be able to put more blocks through that pipeline in less time.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm getting it. And so I'm not commenting on the idea at all here, but on this particular avenue of funding, I think where there's a little bit of a disconnect here is that the Treasury and the people who vote in OpenGov here, they're not so concerned with upgrades to Substrate. They're concerned with upgrades to the Polkadot network where their assets are actually put to work. So you're talking about improving Substrate and offering an alternative finality gadget for Substrate, but that will be utilized outside of the Polkadot network and outside of the realm of the DOT token in total. So there might be a little bit of a difficulty there.
I would just clarify one thing. This is the beginning. So it's the first iteration, because we can't go to adjust or add the functionality to the Polkadot network yet. Yeah. First, we have to do this step, and then it opens the door for anyone to take this and say, this can now unlock all this possibilities to DOT holders, because there's all of these applications that can be built on top of it. So step number one is add this functionality. Step number two, it opens the door for anyone to say, I would like to add this into the DOT network and grow it. So it's an engineering effort. This is step number one of that effort, right? So once it's done, someone can take it and say, I would like to put this into the DOT ecosystem and evolve it that way.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Based on what Peter was saying, though, Peter, eventually this all needs to boil down to Grandpa on the relay chain. Is that in the end? So basically, in order to extract value from this, the DOT holders who vote today, this needs to be implemented on the Polkadot runtime. Like, this needs to actually change how the entire network is finalized. I'm way out of my realm here, but Peter?
No, it's accurate to say. So more or less the speed that this consensus mechanism will provide into a Polkadot network probably won't be realized because it has to go through Grandpa. So you still get finalization on the relay chain. But maybe there are other use cases that the ZK can provide at the parachain level. But the speed, I don't think it'll be one of them unless you can get it actually into the Polkadot relay chain.
Mm-hmm. And is that maybe a long-term goal though, Carmel?
I think possibly we can explore that. It's very hard to commit because it is a large engineering effort,
Huge,
but
yeah.
it's something, yeah.
Okay, it's definitely interesting discussion and cutting edge research. We're very glad that you guys brought it to the show here today. This is just discussion period, and you know, if it's not a fit for the Polkadot Treasury, there's a lot of funding avenues in the substrate world. So I'm sure we can work something out. But guys, thank you for coming on and being on the show today. We very much appreciate.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. All right, let's push forward here because we have Gagan Babu. See Gagan Babu, sir. This is Ref 1751. Oh yeah, we had Shankar on the show last week discussing this 37,440 USDT for to pay for the heavy lift of the efforts behind the micro SR 25519 project. This is struggling right now under 21.43 million DOT on the nay side. There, you do have some support on the I. The PBA alumni are in support here. They see the efforts here. Okay, what's going on here? Let's put 8 minutes on the clock and hear from you, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me though?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. So I'm just here to like address the concerns right now around the proposal and just see that where we can take this forward from. So
okay, let's hear what the concerns are in general here from your point of view.
Just one, everybody's concerned about the 600 hours that was put into the proposal from our side, like our contribution for delivering everything from the development phase that we started off. That if I want to put it like in a list, you could say that we started off with finding the solution for the problem, and that's how we reached out to Paul Miller, and then writing a proposal for him, putting it to the OpenGo and getting that passed. So actually, everybody's concerned that we did not say that we're going to put a proposal later on for it. Which I think is kind of a good point, but at the end, it's like a lot more time than we expected, as we have to choose for communicating that to the community as well. Yeah. Doing multiple interviews with the firms and eventually choosing Oak Security. They were fantastic, by the way, and we had to put the proposal for them as well, the community, which the community rejected from the OpenGo because they insisted us to go with .pal bounty, which is another step for us because now we have to communicate between .pal and Oak Security as well, which we did. And then, yeah, so everybody's concerned about how the 600 hours really was put into it, because then we had to communicate between Oak Security and Paul Miller as well for all the changes any changes that Paul Miller makes. We have to communicate that with them as well. And it's just been a long process of 1 year, and people are concerned how this 600 hours is put up, and they say that the Paul Miller's proposal was just 18,000, which is almost like half of our requested proposal. But Paul Miller's proposal, like development phase, was just for 2 weeks, which he did fantastic. And we also took the statement from Paul Miller during the whole process, because LaneXS has asked us to do so, which we had taken it and presented to them as well. Which is basically where we are right now. And so we're looking where we could take this forward. And some people have concerns about the impact it could, but Polkadot SDK is already using it. And the proposal initially passed because it was going to do bring certain impacts to the ecosystem. So I think, yeah, so that's where it is at the moment.
It's a painful situation for sure, and something we've seen happen a few times in the ecosystem. Crew comes in and offering to do great work, but the costs are not estimated correctly. The work isn't quite grokked in the beginning, and then you do great work, and it ends up being way more work than you thought. So you're looking for a little bit of reconciliation on that. I totally feel for you guys here. Okay, so where to from here? This is it's going to be hard to claw back from this NA pressure here for sure. What do you think is the way forward?
We had a talk with the team. We had a discussion, and we still believe that we did put in work for 600 hours, and it is justified. So some of them have asked us to cut down the price. I mean, the requested amount.
Okay.
Which we really don't see why, but yeah, we're trying to discuss with all the DVs, and we got comments from some of them, and we're still waiting on, I mean, not a DV, but Chaos DAO as well, because they are heavily on the name.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's take another look here at the votes. So here we go. That's PBA on the I side, yes, and then Chaos DAO really leading the nay side here with 13.8 million. Rat DAO 3.19. Nexus and Permanence DAO all on the nay side as well. Okay. Do we have any questions while we have some time left here? Any questions or comments from the panel? Words of advice? Your favorite color? Okay. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and sorry about the situation here. And you know, just speaking personally, thanks anyway for doing the work. But sorry that this happened. Definitely a cautionary tale for anybody proposing to the Treasury. But yeah, thanks very much for coming on.
Yep. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, one more ref to discuss that we talked about last week. We have Jose on the show. Jose, anybody with you today? Let me take a look around. No.
Yes, Virginia.
Virginia. Hello, Virginia. Hello. There you are.
Hello.
So here we are. This is Ref 1752, and this is phase one of an acceleration program that you guys wanted to put together. 108,000 USDT. We had you on the show last week. Here we are, a third of the way through the decision period, and so far probably not what we were hoping for. We have Permanence DAO's solo account on the I side, but Chaos DAO, Ret DAO, Nexus, PBA, all on the nay side, and 21.22 million actually is the stack against, and about 250,000 for. Guys, put 8 minutes on the clock. What did you want to tell us about today?
Well, hi everyone. Thank you for being here. Your time shows that you care about Polkadot, and so do we. So I would like to use this time to answer questions that we had to expand on our proposal. Just raise your hand anytime, and we'll just try to answer those as well as we can. So let me just take this away. So Virginia, what's new about Polkadot for New Ventures Initiative? Really?
Hey, Jose. I think perhaps the fact that it's a new approach is we're seeing the reaction in the numbers a little bit as people. That's why we want to answer these questions. Polkadot, what we're proposing is kind of adding a new tool to the marketing arsenal. It's really a marketing program. We call it a business accelerator, but it's all about reaching out to developers and startups that would build on Web 2, convincing them to build on Web 3. And in fact, making sure that they succeed, so we get stories, so we can use those stories to convince more Web 2 startups to build on Polkadot. I think that answers your question, Jose.
Yeah, sure it does.
Okay, now it's your turn. I get to ask you a question.
All right.
What do you see as the potential upside for this? I mean, we're excited about it, but tell me your words.
All right. Well, so first and foremost, we wanna set use the internet as it was meant to be used, right? What else you need? What else you want, really, right? No, but seriously now, we want to attract tens, hundreds, or thousands of new ventures that will drive transactions, parachain usage, and developer activity. Some of those will break out companies that will really drive high volumes, right? And create some network effect, right? Can be huge, really. Additionally, these breakdown companies will give us marquee, like basically success stories that we can use and amplify to, for Polkadot's narrative, to even then attract more startups. How do you like that? Now it's my turn.
Okay.
Okay, how do we get startups to choose Polkadot, Virginia?
So I think you and I kind of both hit on it a little bit. The best way to convince someone to adopt a new product is to show them the benefits, give them examples. And what startups do and other companies do is they look for early customers that they can help succeed, and beta customers. So really that's what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to go and target Web 2 developer as startups that really fit and would get significant benefits out of Polkadot, and then help them, bring them the Polkadot knowledge to build their product, bring them business knowledge so they don't fail from a startup management perspective. And with that incentive, get them on Polkadot and then create a circle. Does it make sense, right? You see what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Big eyes.
Okay, my turn, Jose. You mentioned thousands of companies, but in our proposal, I know when we talk about the first incubator, it's got 15. How do we go 15 to 1,000?
Okay, well, you load me with that one. Thank you. Well, we partner with established accelerators around the world to offer incubation and acceleration program. As simple as that, right? We contribute curriculum, courseware, some funding, and link to our expert communities. Let's do the math, right? It's just hard to grasp, how this really works, right? Okay, so we have 10 incubators. They have 4 cohorts a year. That means that we have 15 startups per cohort, That means 600 incubated companies in a year, any given year.
Yeah, so it takes the program a little while to get to those numbers, but we can also get bigger. And then if we figure that 10% of those companies move on to the accelerator, and those are the really high potential companies that are also likely to drive high growth on the Polkadot network, that would be 60 companies a year coming onto the Polkadot network, building that network impact, building traffic on the network, and building the value of DOT.
Wow.
And it would be people coming from outside the typical crypto use cases.
Right. Now, how do you like those apples? I get what I will get you with this next question, yeah. So how expensive is that support? The phase 1 proposal map implies $200 per hour. How do you come up with that, really?
Well, you're right, it sounds expensive, but you'd probably be surprised to learn that if you're trying to get experienced, proven executives that know how to run a startup, their hourly rate's probably double that. And to design and deliver the first version of this program, we're just going to need those skills to do it well. Now, let me jump in and answer another question before you get to ask it. How do we get those incubators to succeed? Because they're kind of essential to this growth. And that's the whole idea of the pilot, is build a curriculum and then go carefully select accelerators that are targeting startups in the right market, that have a proven history of helping startups succeed, and work with them with our Polkadot expertise and the network we build of experts so they can succeed.
Wow, no fluff. Good.
Okay, so Jose, why are you confident in this? You're really part of this community, and you're pushing this. Why does it matter?
Well, our team has, decades of experience. It has proven. It's not like, well, let's try to do this. No, we just done this before. We have launched startups to succeed in the billions. So, mentoring startups and running accelerators is our thing. We know how to do it. We know where startups get off track, really. We've seen that many of times. We can see it in our ecosystem. And we understand that expert advisors and structured programs can help them on the right path. Our team has networks of relationships worldwide, entrepreneurs, industry players, investors, governments, very important, that we can leverage and build this program with, right? So very enthusiastic over there. Why 3 phases, really? Why 3 phases instead of just jumping in and doing it?
Well, we're convinced enough. We'd love to just jump right in, but we know that this is a new approach for Polkadot. And we know that the first thing we have to do to build this program is to go out and talk to people. All of those folks you mentioned, government, entrepreneurs. And what we want to say is Polkadot community has this idea to help grow the network. We need to know that we're actually speaking on behalf of the Polkadot community, not just you and me and Marnie. So the point of the first phase of this is to really test the support of the Polkadot community for this idea of how to get businesses on the Polkadot network.
Nice. Any questions?
We have 20 seconds left if there are. Nice presentation. Very fun. I guess we'll...
How it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we've actually had some good presentations this week, so it's been nice. But thanks for joining in on that trend. We'll call it there. We're at time here, but thanks very much, guys, for coming in. We'll check in next week to see how this is going. And if this doesn't pass, are you going to reapproach or too early to talk about that, maybe?
Oh, no, I mean, it's just, this is something that needs to happen in the whole crypto space, really, right? So there is other ecosystems that will just basically put money into this, like, the Ethereum Foundation, no problem with that. So yeah, we will probably, we're just giving a chance to the Polkadot community to really, really have a voice, have a say in this, and if voting as such, great. If this doesn't pass, we'll probably try to get the Web3 Foundation along with the Ethereum Foundation, because we see this as a Polkadot venture, but we also see it like a blockchain in general problem venture, right? So could be multi-party collaboration in this front. So we just don't know. We are just approaching this with you guys, thinking that we are mature enough as a community to make these kind of decisions, and we're just testing open go on it. So we will be here from the long run, regardless if this passes or not.
All right, man. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We're going to take a look at a few refs on the go, refs we've talked about previously, and check out how they're doing this week, starting with 1748. This is the sponsorship for active devs and community members to get to Buenos Aires for the Polkadot Symbiosis Sub-Zero event, 57,540 USDC, and about the same where we left it last week, 66.3% in favor here. Checking out the action button here on Subsquare to see any new votes that have come in. Not really a lot of movement since last week. Looking like everybody is pretty much where they were previously. Yep, that's right. We had DAO coming on the nay side just before last week's show, and it's pretty much held steady there. By the way, we have a big speaker announcement for Sub-Zero. That's going to be coming out in the Sub-Zero newsletter tomorrow, probably on the socials as well. But now you've seen 20 people announced to be speaking at Sub-Zero, and a lot more in the pipeline. This is going to be an excellent event. I have to tell you all one more time, now's the time to get your tickets to get to Buenos Aires. Stay for a while. It's a beautiful city. There's lots of cool things to do no matter where you're from. But do get your tickets now, because they are only going up. And, you could definitely use that money for some stakes on the ground when you get there. So do order your tickets as soon as possible. We also have sub-wallet development. This was a reminder. This is the second proposal. The first one they put through barely failed, or was it was a near pass, and it just came below 50%. So they resubmitted. I don't know what this was. Oh yeah, it looks like 80% of the initial cost, 795,500 USDC. This now enjoying 98% support and looking to enter the confirmation period in 3 days, 1 hour. That's going to be a 4-day confirmation period for this medium spend proposal. Congratulations to the Subwallet team. I saw they just supported Holler and Bridge Token. Very cool. Polkadot Community Foundation election and appointment for 2 directors. This is nearing halfway through the decision period and actually struggling, surprisingly. So we had folks from Autonomous Project on the show 2 weeks ago telling us about this. Just a reminder, this is about the 2 director seats in the Cayman Islands Cayman Islands company that represents the Polkadot DAO in some situations, 2 empty director seats, and this is looking to fill them. Let's see who's voting here. Chaos DAO on the I side, Saxonburg on the I side as well, but Red DAO, Lenexus, PBA, and Permanence all on the nay side. I'm so curious what's going on here. So let's dive in here. Polkadot Poland is abstain. Red DAO says this referendum could be seen as an attempt to obfuscate by making the bar too high for any community member to jump through the hurdles and effectively make the PCF black box. Well, that's a lot of distrust toward the PCF here. We spoke previously how a director, one of the directors, it'd be great if they could offer more insight into how the PCF works, kind of fulfilling a comms role. But that's Red DAO's negative feedback there. What's Permanence DAO saying? Discussion reflected mixed opinions on the proposal to appoint 2 new directors to the PCF. Comments acknowledged the benefit of increasing community input while questioning the necessity of the proposal's annual $35,000 payment and absence of fixed limited terms for directors. Concerns were raised about potential issues with director removal and overall clarity of governance procedures. Some participants expressed uncertainty and opted to refrain from a decisive stance until further details were provided. Wow, very interesting. Okay, so that's an active vote right now, 1749. If you want to add your dot and your voice to this one, still passing, but kind of a surprising outcome there. Okay, finally, ref on the go, 1 million dot to top up the DeFi bounty. Nico out there doing good things. I think he's going to be back soon. He's just out there busy doing something really important. But this is going really well, 74.3% in favor. Who's on the nay side here? Let's check it out. Red DAO on the nay side. PBA and Permanence again on the nay side for this all-important bounty. I guess we can dig down and see what... Oh, White Rabbit also on the nay side there. Let's dig down and see what we have here. Red DAO saying, our members are increasingly worried about the scale of funds being directed toward bounties and the broader trajectory of Treasury funding, which at its current pace risks unsustainable depletion of resources, continue to recognize the value, but want them to evolve. So this is a general nay on bounties as a whole, which is very interesting. Flez, a solo, a DV Lite also on the nay side. And let's get Permanence feedback here. One voter lauded the team's key role in the network's transitions. Several participants abstained, citing substantial funding request and requesting clearer details on the past expenditure and the sustainability. They questioned how many of the 30 projects remained active and valuable to the ecosystem and demanded more robust ROI analysis. So that's fair play there, looking for more clarity on how past funds were spent before committing to another 1 million dot, worth about $4 million at today's market value, to the bounty. Fair play, but still passing right now with 74.3% in favor. Now, we have one ref confirming this week, but I did want to open it up to the panel in case there's anything else we wanted to discuss before we carry on about our days, our busy week. Anybody see anything up that they wanted to discuss? Well, I certainly do. But Jose, let's hear from you first. Go ahead.
This is referring a specific theme or just it's open?
Well, if you could keep related to OpenGov, that would be cool.
Okay, yeah. I'm feeling more and more the need to have more visibility, more transparency within how these bounties are being handled, within their team composition, within their background. Are these people, really able to basically prepare Polkadot? We have already a year has passed, and I don't know. Some reporting will be great, more transparency. I think we should, even AAG, we should just probably set up a space just for bounty, just to talk about bounties in general, because people, it's a mechanism that we're using. We should basically make them even better.
All right. That's a nice wish for sure. Yeah, more maturity in bounties, obviously. I think that's the way we're going here. Certainly. Thank you for that. Breaking news, everybody. We have a ref that was created today, actually about 9 minutes ago. This is ref 1761. PUSD as Polkadot Hub's native stablecoin. We have an anonymous account posting this here, but they are proposing RFC 155 authored by Brian Chen, which is to use the Hansen protocol, the one that powered, well, I'll say it, AUSD, and adapting it as a DOT-only collateral backed stablecoin on Asset Hub. This should be a very interesting vote on the Wish for Change track, and it does have its decision deposit placed at the same time. Let's just take a look here to see who placed the decision deposit. The same as the proposer. Okay, so there you go. This is a developing story. You've probably seen it online, some chatter about the PUSD and the Hansen protocol, the old AUSD drama from several years ago. But here, this account that's never posted a ref before has put it up here, and I'm sure we'll get more information about this, but do contribute your voice, read the RFC. Actually, let's dive into the RFC real quick while we're here and just see what's going on. So, yeah, we had Brian Chen post this RFC 2 weeks ago. Polkadot chimed in there. He's the fellow who's helping us implement the capped dot supply schedule. And then Jakob from Hydration said that they're going to come in and do, they're going to offer an alternative. But then Gav came in and said, the code which is stable utilizes is mature, and at the point of having RFC process is to avoid rush decisions. That said, I am of the well-considered opinion that Polkadot needs a fully collateralized decentralized stablecoin, that it needs it ASAP, and that it is of strategic importance. Just to catch you all up, the reason why we want this this native stablecoin is because what Gav has suggested, and many are behind, is paying for validators, instead of paying for validators with a portion of issuance, actually paying them a fixed stable rate for the services they do to the ecosystem. And I guess because we're doing this new cap supply and we decided to do the hard pressure version where we drop issuance by 54% on Pi Day next year, Gav is feeling the pressure, and that was the whole point. So here he says it's very, very urgent to get a native stablecoin through. He says, I have no problem with utilizing Holler in due course, but absolutely would not bet a central pillar of what I consider Polkadot's future on a third-party team, given that Holler isn't even launched yet. Well, this was said before it was launched. Of course, it was launched earlier this week. Jakob coming back and saying, having spoken to Gav at length on the matter, they will not be proposing an alternative to PUSD. We will continue to focus on collaboration and driving liquidity in the Polkadot ecosystem. And Jakob says some of the hard requirements here to have this on Hub, governed by Polkadot governance, with launch date before there will be contracts on Hub. As such, it's not possible to even deploy a modified Holler version until then. It requires oracles and all these other things. A much simpler mechanism is more suitable for a fast launch of a DOT collateralized stablecoin as envisioned. So there you go, some consensus reached and expressed here on the RFC, and now a wish for change put up for DOT holders to solidify PUSD, which is not the greatest name, I have to say, as the over-collateralized or the collateralized stablecoin on Polkadot. PUSD, I think we can do better. The Dots was making fun of it. PUSD, PTSD, Anna, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of jokes here with PUSD. Maybe we could do better, but I think the key here is agreeing that the Hansen protocol will power the DOT stablecoin. So do vote and express your opinion there. Okay, last call for conversations on the show today. All right, then we will take a look at the confirming ref this week on the big spender track, although no funds leaving the treasury for this one, just using the track to actually update the curator team for the Polkadot Kusama Bridge bounty. So this pile of funds there to reward anybody who can expose bugs in the Polkadot Kusama Bridge. Wait, is that correct? Am I correct here? Yeah, it's a security bridge bounty. They're looking to update the curator set here. Here they are on screen. Valerie Vince, Adrian Vincent, and Shayun from Hyperbridge. This enjoys 100% support with 28.74 million DOT on the I side. So congratulations to that team for this important security bounty. That's the show for today, everybody. But not the last show ever. We'll be back on Monday for episode 271 to discuss everything happening on Kusama and the rollups in the ecosystem. Make sure you tune in to Space. Oh, Peter, don't let me finish the show with what you have to say.
Sorry, I realized something.
Yeah.
At the beginning of our slot, you said that the proposal we have to do 2 proposals. Accept the bounty and propose the curator.
Oh, did you wrap it?
I don't know if this is a new extrinsic, but there's an approved bounty with curator that's now part of the bounty palette.
So you're doing it all together?
It's all together,
Yeah,
one extrinsic in bounties palette.
That's beautiful. Thanks for clarifying that. That's cool. So
Okay, I like you close now.
No, it's great. We should update the UXs here, or the UIs here, sorry, to show the amount that is being requested here, because it's a little bit funny how that works, at least on Subsquare. Thanks for that note. Jose.
Yeah, Peter, a question for you. Is it possible to have a specific, very well-written mission of the bounty itself, on which we can basically take the curators up to it and say, well, you are supposed to do this and you are not doing that? Is there that possible? So the community who is not really deep into it knows what the real function of this bounty is.
Yeah, I mean, in the proposal, in the full document, we've got budgets broken down for how much we're wanting to spend on development, education, and the general things that we are expecting to do, both in the short term, like more concrete tasks, plus longer term tasks. I'll take a look and see if that's not sufficient, and we can look at adding something else. I definitely encourage reading it.
What I'm looking for is like in the events bounty, basically, right? I mean, they're supposed to basically fund any kind of event that benefits Polkadot, right? But that hasn't been verbalized. And I think all the bounties need to have that, because that's what drives the bounties, right? That's their mission, right? And all the curators need to be aligning with that. So for people who doesn't know technicalities or anything else, something like 1 sentence, 2 sentences should do the work. And I think it will benefit everyone.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll take a look. We've got a lot of content there that might cover it already, but I'll make sure to double check to see if we could put like a one-liner for here's the mission of the bounty and what the curator should follow.
Thank you, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. Really.
Okay, guys. Thanks very much. As I was saying, we'll be back on Monday for another episode of AAG. Do tune into Space Monkey Sunday, because we're going to have an interview with John Squire from Blockchain Ventures. Very important holder of capital, early holder of capital in the Polkadot ecosystem. And I can't wait to unpack with him the early days and everything he feels about what's happening in the ecosystem and whole industry. Now, do tune in for that on Sunday. Not before a Friday.News Pump show. That's going to happen tomorrow. I really need to catch up on the research on that, but everything I've been seeing online, it's been a very exciting week in Polkadot. So tune in there if you've missed out, because I'm going to do all the research for you, and then I'll tell you everything that happened, me and the whole team. You can get totally caught up. That's it for this show, everybody. Have a great week. Until we see you next time, take care.